Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I am back this morning. If you are new coming across my page for the first time, hello. My name is Deidre, and I am a certified life coach, and I help rehabilitate women who've experienced toxic relationship cycles so they can boss up and break free. And today, I'm just giving you strategies for breakthrough. Yesterday we talked about getting to the root of the issue, and we know that roots are the foundation of what is causing the problems, right? So it's not enough just to recognize that, yes, I have an issue. Yes, I need to get rid of this. But going back to the root is going back to the cause of it. And then that through that cause, you can now restructure how you perceive certain things and not allow that outcome to be flowing from the root. And so I wanted to share with you all scriptures because I always have a scripture. And I everything I do is from a biblical background. So the first scripture I want to share with you guys is coming from Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10. And it says, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." And the other scripture is Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 17. And it says, "But I will restore you to health and heal your wounds, declares the Lord." So I just want to remind you, I help women to sit here and not cope, but actually be restored from eternal things, from the eternal damage that happened with what they've been through. But we know that God is the true healer. And through these scriptures, I just want to encourage you that He will strengthen you, He will help you, He will restore you, and healing can be your portion. So, today, strategies for breakthrough. We're going to dive right into this. So, anytime you are doing anything, I don't care if it's something relating to planning something for your family, like planning how the day is going to go, or planning how to get restored back to health from your doctor, telling him telling you to eat certain things or do whatever. There has to be a strategy in everything that you do. There has to be a plan in everything that you do. Okay. And I want you to understand that, because yes, you mean, Deidre, I'm supposed to plan how to sit here and come out of things? Absolutely. Because, like I said yesterday, when your body is familiar with consuming things physically, for instance, when it's used to eating certain things and drinking certain things, when you now take a shift in a direction to live a healthier life, your body is still familiar with what you're consuming. And when you're not giving it that, there is like a war and a hardship going on because your body's still desiring something, right? But your mind is at a place like, but I want to do better. And in order to not kind of relapse or go back into bad habits, there has to be a strategy in place, whether that is substituting something that you're used to doing for something else. You have to have a strategy in place so the temptation of relapsing won't be that. Okay. So, for a strategy for breakthrough is number one. I did this in my old program, and in that program, one of the things I had my client do is write a letter. I want you to write a letter, and with this letter, I want you to write what you want to say to your younger self. So you're at this age now, but what would you specifically say to your younger self? And with this letter, I want you to write everything that you felt towards your younger self, but I also want you to forgive yourself in that letter. Everything that you address with your younger self, whether it's like, hey, dear self, I really am upset that I did this. I'm really upset that I had to go through X, Y, and Z and this or that. And now, what I want you to do also in that letter, after you've done that, I want you to extend that letter on what you want your daughter to walk in. Like, if you have a daughter, if you don't have any children, what would you want your future children to walk in? So the reflection of what you're seeing when you're younger that you didn't want to see, you don't want to impress that on your children. So I want you to, let me remind you, with the letter, we're writing a letter to ourselves, right? And we're addressing everything that we've been through our younger self. And we're opening the door of forgiveness through that letter to our younger self. After we do that, we're going to do an extended letter that is to your future child. Or if you already have a daughter, do that. And through that letter, you're going to write everything that you want to see in that child that is not going to be connected to the hurt and pain that you had to endure. And the reason why I want you to do this is, I told you with cycles, it is passed down. So when we're not healed and when we're not restored, how we impress things, how we cope with things, it literally flows down to your seed if it's not dealt with. And now you're depositing emotional wounds within your children if you're not careful. So, what this letter does is a reminder to say, hey, this is what I want for my children. So, I'm shifting my mind to understand I'm not living according to my hurt, but I'm living according to what I want to see in my life, as well as the seeds that are going to be attached to me, as well as the children that God blesses me to have. Okay. So the first one is a letter. Another strategy is, I think this is important too, is to start listing the things that you want to see shift in your life. It could be from just your mindset, you know, or it could be something as deep as, I want to mend things with my mom, right? Or I want to restore a relationship with so and so. But I want you to write every change that you want to see in your life. And then, with every change that you want to see within your life, I want you to now list just one thing that you can do to contribute to be on that road to that change. And what this does too is allow you to now bring to life what you want to see, but also now it's causing you to now take an action. You're naming out an action that is required to see a solution. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I want you to do. So first is the letter, and then second, you're making a list of everything that you want to see shift in your life. And now just putting one action that you can do. I call it an action step guide. One action that you want to do and see in your life, and then start taking that action. So for instance, let me just give an example. So say, like, for instance, with my guardian, like, um I felt like they really broke my heart. Like, they really broke me on not being able to see my worth. And so now everything that I do is literally birthed out of needing confirmation from people, needed acceptance for people. So I I would put, as far as, I want to shift from feeling like I'm always rejected. And then my action step would be learning how to love myself. So, loving on myself could be, to be specific, loving on myself could be, is going out and maybe having a self care day. You know what I'm saying? Or going out to a restaurant once a month by myself and just eat it in public by myself. And the reason why I'm just listing this stuff is because I want you to understand what I'm saying. But this is an action step that's being taken because you're putting a demand on what needs to be changed. So, yes, you recognize, hey, I'm dealing with neglect and rejection issues because my guardian just seemed to always implicate negativity on me. But now, to move away from that mindset, I now am saying, you know what, let me do something to contribute to me embracing myself. So now, ultimately, doing that is now going to make you comfortable in your own skin to sit here and say, okay, I like I'm getting comfort with me. I like me. And what I find is, with this example, I'm glad I stated this. I find a lot of people are not able to really be whole because they don't love themselves and they don't really like themselves that much. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to sit here and live a life where you don't even like the body that you're in. You see what I'm saying? It's hard to sit here and have a clear peripheral vision. It's hard to sit here and have a clear sight, clear vision towards people, towards anything in life, if you are not even happy in the life that you're in. So one thing with self-care, you're pouring back into yourself. You're not being conceited. This is not conceding and puffing yourself up, but you're pouring back into yourself so you can pour out positively to others. Typically, people who have a hard time with relationships and being very toxic in relationships is because there's something inwardly within them that they have yet to confront and they don't like. Okay, so that's why you can see some people who operate heavily in insecurities within themselves sit here and sometimes do certain things toward others because there's something inwardly that they don't want to look at. So that's the example for that. And lastly, I did this, and I'm going to do a further lesson about this, but I would how you have a detox for physically, there's different type of detoxes dealing with different parts of the body that helps cleanse it, right? So one thing I did in a program is a detox plan, but I'm going to do another video to kind of like emphasize that. But with the detox plan, guys, it's literally removing everything to kind of reset your body. And that's what the detox plan we do is a detox plan for mental health, right? Emotional health and all of that. So with this detox plans, what you would do is I typically now, I used to say find 3 things to eliminate out of your life, but I know this is a process. So one thing I would say, do a detox plan, but find just one thing that you want completely removed out of your life, whether that be a relationship, a friendship, whether that be certain type of foods, whether that be the environment that you in, you don't want to go there no more. Whatever it is, find just one thing that you want completely removed out of your life. And what that does is now causes you to start eliminating codependency, right? Because so many people don't understand also that what they struggle with is due to codependency. When you're codependent on something to cure you, it's kind of a little bit harder to detach yourself from that because it's literally kind of like rubbing you by your side, trying to like hold on to your toxicity. So what I want you to do is just name one thing that you want to remove out of your life. Through this removal plan, I need you to have 3 substitutions that you can do in replace to what you're removing. So I'll give 2 examples, one simple example and one more in-depth example. So I want to get rid of a relationship, right? I say you have a boyfriend and it's very, very toxic, right? And you want to get rid of this relationship, but you're kind of dealing with codependency. You're kind of going back and forth in your mind and not understanding if you should stay or go. So you would put, I want to remove myself from this relationship, and then 3 things that you can do as far as the substitution. A, I can start, instead of using this time to always go visit them or do this, I can use this time to work out. So the time that I would meet them, exercise instead. Granted, I'm thinking of if y'all are not living together, but yes, I can go work out instead and do this. A second thing would be I could stop talking to them. I could stop calling them. And with that call, instead of calling them, I'm using that time to kind of have quiet time with myself, to kind of pour into myself, whether that's from reading the Bible, working on something at my job or whatever, but I'm replacing it from talking to that person. Another thing is I can now kind of place myself around a positive group of people, right? Because, like I said yesterday, whatever you are doing, you are feeding every aspect of your life. So every aspect of your life is consuming something and is feeding off of that. And out of that, you get the outcome of what's going on in your life. So if I'm feeding off of negativity, then everything I see in my life is negative. If I'm feeding off of positivity, then everything I see is lively. I'm seeing life in everything that I'm doing, right? So what I want you to understand is learning how to shift from the past and create substitutions to get to where you need to be. So creating substitutions is the key to not relapsing and going back into something we want to be free from, because when you don't have a plan, it will fail, right? If you're not approaching things with, it's not enough just to say, hey, I'm doing this, but your mind has to be solely planted in saying this will get done. So it's important to make sure that we are having strategies in place to go forward. So I'm going to review again. So we said one is the letter, two, we're making a list of everything that we want to see, and we're creating an action step. And three, you can create a detox plan. And you don't have to do all of these, but these are just tips that I have used in my program for people to help them to kind of shift their mind according to where they want to be in life and what they want to see. And I'm a firm believer that writing is something, a tool I use heavily, because like I said, a lot of people don't receive well when people are coming up to them and telling them this is what you need to do. You need to do X, Y, and Z. It's different when it's coming from you. It's different when you're confronting your mind by writing it down. You're forcing yourself to actually reflect. And reflection through writing can do a lot of things. It can cause you to sit here and address. It can cause you to sit here and be honest when you're also writing that letter. It can cause you to cry because you're confronting with something internally, privately. And I feel like that's the beauty of journaling, writing, and all of that. It's kind of like a safety, vulnerable place where it's just you. You have the control to quietly deal with these things without being forced and trying to impress and project things on people. But you have like the quiet and the safety net of just doing this on your own and just writing down everything that you're feeling and going through. So I hope these tips help you guys. I'll be giving more tips, but I think it's so pivotal. Just I can't say it enough. Have a plan. Have a plan. Plan your way out of pain. Yes, we understand it's God that heals, He restores, but even through the healing, there has to be a maintaining of the deliverance, or you can sit here and just be a one hit wonder. And what I mean by that, you hear a lot of people say that when it pertains to music, but it could be just literally a period of time. And then the next thing you know, you're back into the very thing that you've been delivered from. So I think it's a lifestyle. Your lifestyle screams the level of consistency and discipline in your life. So if I have a lifestyle that is catered to my new, then it's going to be sustained. But if I'm not having a lifestyle that is catered to my new, I'm literally opening the door for setback. I'm opening the door for problems. I'm opening the door for stagnancy. And when we want to be new, we don't want anything that is opposing newness to sit here and dwell around us. You know what I'm saying? It's important that everything new is around us when we want to be new, because we don't want hindrances and we don't want anybody to stop a move that we, and freedom feels good. When you are new, you are refreshed. Okay. And that's how we want to feel. That's what we want to be. Okay. So I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. And I always say this: choose to have a wonderful day. And that's the mindset you need to have. Choose to have a wonderful day. I don't care what goes on, what is coming against you. You make a decision and say, no, I'm still going to have a good day regardless. Because no matter what comes your way, it's all about the perception and the mindset, the shifting of seeing things in a renewed way. But until next time, I will see you guys soon. Bye bye.